Hello, good evening. Thank you for the excellent response for this webinar. And I decided to hold this webinar because of the grand news which finally came, which you all know, that is on 20th February, Government of India notified IND AS, that is India's convergent standards with IFRS, being made applicable. So now there is no delay. It's already started. As we all know that this has been made as a provision into Companies Act Rules 2015, and the linkage is available on mca.gov.in. Some of the important things which come out are that 39 standards have been notified in the rules 2015. So now the IFRS and IND AS career takes a quantum jump in India. While it was already existing for MNCs or the companies which were going for foreign currency borrowings, or the companies which we wanted to list on the foreign stock exchange, or the companies who had subsidiaries or holding outside India, now it is for majority of the companies. Let us take a brief count of what has happened about the applicability. One part is this has been made part of the Companies Act now, that is the rules, which ensures that there is no conflict between the schedule and standards. In fact, the IND AS 1 prescribes the formats of financial statements. Similarly, it also ensures that any conflicts between the acts and the standards, and we saying that act supersedes standards, will not happen now, because the format of financial statement and the standard itself are the part of Companies Act because of the rules 2015. So this is something different from the past. Next, a standard like IAS 39, that is financial instrument, has not been taken at all. Currently in the world, IAS 39 is applicable, whereas IFRS 9 is allowed to be used but becoming compulsory from 1st January 17. So for the first time, I can see India using IND AS 109. IND AS 109 gets adopted in India, which is perhaps now earlier than when world adopts IFRS 9. So I'm told by some of my friends that actually US is surprised to see that India is going ahead of them in some respect. So kudos to the government and kudos to Institute of Chartered Accountants. So kudos to the government and Institute of Chartered Accountants and NACAS to ensure that now IFRS IND AS comes into the picture. As we all know that 1st April 15 is the date on which companies are allowed to use it voluntarily. Then there are companies who are having net worth above 500 crores. For them it will be mandatory from 1st April 2016, and the companies having net worth above 250 crores, it is mandatory for them to start from 1st April 17. Now, arising out of that, one more important thing is any such company for which IND AS is compulsory, it has to publish, or rather it has to have consolidated accounts, and apart from that it will be applicable to the holding company, to the subsidiary company, to the associates and to the JVs of such companies also. So that makes it a great effort, because I would presume that huge number of companies will get covered under this. I suppose on an average top 20 groups should have itself around average 500 subsidiary plus associate plus joint venture. So I'll venture to say the figure of applicability will be in the range of 1 or 2 lakhs. Finally, one important word is that when it is made applicable, it has been made applicable first voluntarily and then mandatory also. So many of the companies are taking initiative to start it voluntarily, and therefore the IFRS and IND AS careers are going to prosper very well. So it's a hot thing for, I presume, all the people who are attending webinar here, as I understand, are CA or CA students and cost accountants and a few MBAs, and I know that some of them are BComs with a good experience also. I'm interesting to find that even company secretaries are also have to play a major role. So they are also attending this webinar. Welcome to them. Right. Let me take the questions which we have been receiving. So I'm taking first the question of Kunal Thakkar asking about similarities between IFRS and IND AS and what is the future roadmap. The roadmap has been already explained: voluntary, mandatory for above 500 net worth and mandatory for above 250 crore net worth. Similarity, very frankly, everything is similar. In the past, there were two types of carve-outs. Carve-outs means deviations or variations from IFRS, because India decided for convergence and not adoptions. So obviously there were some changes which were made in IND AS compared to IFRS. The major carve-outs of last time, that is before announcement, were of two types. One is carve-outs and one is hidden carve-outs. For example, if a certain standard is postponed, it means it is like a hidden carve-out only. So therefore, the similarities, if you ask me, everything is similar. What is similar? I mean, the financial instrument, which is the major thing, has become similar. So debt and equity definitions cannot be twisted, and no games can be played reaching to financial scams. Similarly, the subsidiary concept shifting to controlled entity is similar. So I would say everything is similar except a few minor exceptions. Now the exceptions are pretty well known, I suppose, but nevertheless let me catch up 4 significant exceptions. All others are minor exceptions. One is, and which is a little shock to the IFRS propagators, that is investment property, which under IFRS allows cost or fair value method, now allows only cost method in the IND AS. It doesn't allow fair value method. The background has not been clear, but nevertheless, I suppose government is worried about how the fair value can be properly calculated. Second thing is negative goodwill. IFRS says take to profit and loss account as a gain from bargain purchase, whereas IND AS says that keep it as a capital reserve, keep it under equity. Right? The third issue is that the FCCBs are allowed to be shown as equity. That is one of the major hitch. And the borrowing cost capitalization, which is allowed to be done even after the machinery is installed or the asset is capitalized, at the time of repayment of the loan, whatever forex fluctuations are coming in the Indian GAAP, they are allowed to be capitalized, and IND AS continues to allow to capitalize them. Somehow this provision is not very nice, because this allows an opportunity to hide the capitalization, or rather to boost the capitalization, whereas that should have gone to expenses. Right? I hope I have covered mainly the important provisions of variances. Other provisions are not so great. Now, I come to Vinay Kumar's question. I hope Vinay Kumar you are there. Job and practice prospects for IFRS in India and abroad. Let me tell you, I have been holding the classes for IFRS both for corporates and open batches in Mumbai, Pune, Nashik and Delhi for last 5 years, and we have been able to place huge number of people already. So the job practice are phenomenal, no doubt about it. Big Fours are appointing, Indian industries appointing, MNCs are appointing, banks are appointing, KPOs are appointing. In fact, those who do our physical classroom course, we are offering them even the placement assistance, and we have placed many people. But one sector, that is abroad, overseas, we have been able to place many people, or many people have been able to go abroad on their own. To give an example, Deepak has gone to Paris and has become a CFO for Capgemini, or Yogita has gone to Canada and working on IFRS. I am giving you few names, and anybody who wants to see them, they can see on my Facebook account, Ram Mohan Bhave. You can be my friends on Ram Mohan Bhave, and you will see all my IFRS students there. Then there are Revati who went to Australia. Then recently my 4 students had gone to Dubai. One has gone to Zanzibar. One person has shifted to Ireland, that is Ravindran. Rajiv Raman has gone to Dubai. So a lot of people have been changing the countries and getting the overseas offers. Coming to practice prospects, is bound to be a boom now, because the IND AS audits will have to be signed off, and therefore the chartered accountant or the accountants who are going to do implementation of IFRS, they are going to have lot of practice prospects, because there are very limited number of CAs who are aware about how to make even the IND AS accounts. So for them even to audit those accounts is going to be difficult. So those limited people who show that great knowledge of, or a rarely available knowledge of IFRS and IND AS, are going to have great prospects. Coming back, the IFRS prospects have been stretching further to even the valuation and M&A. I will share with you something by writing here. Many of the chartered accountants, yesterday I was talking to one of the CA boy whom I am mentoring. He was saying that I learned audit and tax in my articleship. So the fields open to me are only accounts, audit and taxation, perhaps maybe costing. And he says that I am not interested in that, and I see the only career path left in finance. So he was dreaming to do equity research and investment banking and portfolio management. And when I asked him that how much do you know about it, he says I know nothing. So I said, if you wanted to do investment banking and portfolio management, why did you do CA? You should have started with CFA. Now most of the CAs see the very lucrative words called investment banking, portfolio management and equity research, and they realize that they have no scope in that, because the MBA finance are preferred for that. One. Second, in last 5 years, so many people have come out of finance sector because the share market was going down. So they are waiting in the streets to catch up those jobs. But a CA or a ICAA who is not so well equipped in equity research and investment banking, why should he not the more creative career path, which fortunately I myself got an opportunity to do in my career? Start with IFRS. I can tell you, you can get into valuation. because IFRS, the most important part is consolidation, and consolidation happens because of holding subsidiaries, and because of that many tangible and intangible assets are required to be fair valued, because IFRS is based on fair value. And then get into M&A, and then get into external commercial borrowings, and then get into listing on foreign stock exchange. I can tell you many of the companies which we have done the IFRS for, we have done many more things for them. We have done their registration on foreign stock exchanges. We have done their intangible assets valuation and even the company valuation for mergers and acquisitions. They have been registered on Dubai Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, Alternative Investment Market, Australia, Germany, Canada. So I would recommend for a CA, instead of seeing the dreams of the area of finance, jump into the creative mode, and where IFRS can be an excellent starting point because the accountants are expert in accounting standards, and IND AS and IFRS are quite close to accounting standards. A lot of people feel that if I have not done accounting standards thoroughly in my CA, then it is difficult for me to learn IFRS. Absolutely wrong. In fact, a chartered accountant becomes very strong in accounting and he himself doesn't know how great he is in accounting. So, my advice to you is forget financial portal where there are 3 years or 2 years to spend on CFA, which again hardly gives any career in India currently, unless you think of going to Hong Kong or Singapore or USA. There are not much chances. Enter into the creative career of IFRS, valuation, M&A, external commercial borrowings, listing on foreign stock exchanges, and since all the other areas there is no course to enter into, do a course on IFRS, that is Diploma in IFRS from ACCA London, which is a global diploma, and you will get the information on that on www.consultifrs.com and www.meraskills.com. So that will ensure that you have the opportunity to do a global qualification and achieve your goals in the current market. As far as demand and supply is concerned, it is an excellent area because the supply of IFRS professionals is very short. I had an opportunity to work for Mittalls in London, and that's where I could learn this IFRS during 7, 8 and 9. In these two websites, you will get even a demo, as well as if you want to contact me, you can contact me on mohanbhave@gmail.com anytime, or you can WhatsApp me on 9167446744. Call me, WhatsApp me anytime on this number so that you will be able to get me for any further guidance on how to enter into IFRS field and get the job and practice prospects. Alright. So Vinay Kumar, I hope your question has been answered. We have covered the job and practice prospects for IFRS in India and abroad. Let's go to the next question. Right. Here is Vaibhav Tibrewal. Thank you for your question. What would be the best course to do on IFRS online? Yes, go to meraskills.com and register yourself. I can confidently say that we have the best online course, and you can see the testimonials we have. Currently we have testimonials from, the students from 9 countries. Not only India, around 25 cities. Bangalore, Delhi, Calcutta, Madras, Chennai, Hyderabad, Faridabad, Ahmednagar and Aurangabad and Nagpur and Bhopal and Ahmedabad, Baroda, Surat. Not only that, even Vallabh Vidyanagar and Rajkot. So, and then we have students from Norway, Nigeria, Dubai, Qatar, Oman, Kuwait, Australia. and Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, Canada and America. You want to see the list of the names? Go to consultifrs.com or go to meraskills.com. You can see the demo lecture and you can obviously start doing the course online. And the material we courier and we provide you the internet username and password, and you can go through the recording. It's around 25 hours recording. You will invest around 60 hours to go through that recording, around 100 hours self-study, and I can guarantee you, you will pass diploma in IFRS and you will also learn how to implement IFRS. I have given complete practical case studies in all that recording from all the 28 years experience I had in the industry, including actual implementation experience. So the best course to do, consultifrs.com, meraskills.com. Chintan Doshi, doing employee in IFRS will be helpful to even a CS student. Right? Yeah, of course, right. In fact, in every physical batch and online registrations, we have not only Indians, but even non-Indians doing it. I mean, Nelson from Nigeria or Jidan from Dubai have passed diploma in IFRS in the last exam. As far as company secretary is concerned, one of my student company secretary has been able to go to Dubai and she got into mergers and acquisitions through IFRS. And there are huge number of company secretaries, because you all know that company secretary signs the balance sheet. Can you sign a IND AS or IFRS balance sheet without knowing what is there in the balance sheet? And if the balance sheet is made based on IND AS and IFRS, do you think we, a CS, can dare to sign it? So obviously, it is going to become a compulsory thing for a CS fellow. I am sure the CS Institute will soon realize and bring it in their syllabus. Till then, Meraskills and Consult IFRS. Pravesh Pokhrel, he had just mentioned about IFRS. Well, IFRS has 15 standards and 29 IAS. So IFRS 1 to IFRS 15 and IFRS 1 to 41, of which 29 standards are in vogue. This 29 plus 15 becomes 44, of which India has adopted in IND AS 39. So this is in general about IFRS. IFRS's long form is International Financial Reporting Standards, which I am sure you are knowing. And IFRS means and includes IFRS as well as IAS. So let's not get confused about IFRS and IAS. And IND AS is the India's version, which is convergent with IFRS. I hope that clears your question. Brigu Nijavan, Chartered Accountant, a newly qualified CA looking forward to make a career in IFRS. Which city you are from? If you are from Mumbai and Pune, join physical class. If you are from any other place or you want to do the course 24 hours, online is available. Go to the website meraskills.com, consultifrs.com, see the demo lecture. If you want to do physical, admission form is given. If you want to do online, payment procedure is given. Make the payment, you will get internet username and password. Study material will be couriered. If you want to do physical, fill up the admission form, email, deposit the fees, and roughly in 60 hours, whether it is a physical training or online training, it should be completed. So do it that way and appear for the exam, Diploma in IFRS, which is a global diploma by CCA London. That will give you the strong qualification of diploma in IFRS, right? And I would say by confidently that more than 300 of my students being already placed in the excellent IFRS profiles at various areas, whether it is banks or whether it is Indian companies or whether it is MNCs or whether it is Big Fours or strong CA firms, or they have started practicing. So ways of doing, I would say only one way, that is Consult IFRS and Meraskills. We proudly say this because we are Limca record holders for a webinar where 37,000 people had attended. And this Limca record is available on consultifrs.com. You can see even the recording of that on that website, which was shown for both Limca and Guinness Book. Alright, let me come to the question of Daniel. If we do ACCA, how many months to complete IFRS? Is it possible to do in India? Let me tell you, ACCA is an exam like CA. Like CA is in India, ACCA is in global. On the global world, the exam is held in 200 cities and more than 70 countries. Now, ACCA itself has 2 papers of IFRS, and ACCA can be done in India. But for completing the IFRS, you need not do ACCA in totality. There is a diploma in IFRS available from ACCA. I would rather recommend to do only that, unless you are wanting to shift to Europe or your ability to shift to Europe. I would suggest you to do only diploma in IFRS and later decide if you want to do ACCA full, because ACCA full has 14 subjects and it will take 2 to 3 years, whereas diploma in IFRS you can almost finish in 3 to 6 months. For example, the June exam is on 9 June, and if you file the exam form before 25th of March and register for online or physical class, then you will be able to surely complete the studies in 3 months time and appear for exam in June or December. Is it possible to do in India? Yes, because you are doing classroom studies or online studies, and the exam is held in 200 cities in the world, of which 10 cities are in India, and those 10 cities are obviously, I'll just try to recollect how many I remember: Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Ahmedabad, Cochin, Jaipur. Yeah, I have remembered all. So these 10 centers are available for you, and you can appear for one day exam from there. Just one exam, 3 hours 15 minutes, 100 mark paper and 50 mark passing, and you shall be able to become a person who learns practically the case studies as to how to implement IFRS in India. Please go through our demo lecture, please go through our websites, and anything you need, call me up. I gave my number 9167446744, or write on my email ID mohanbhave@gmail.com. Now I come to, so is it possible to do in India? 100%. Ashok Kumar, why we need IFRS and implementation of IFRS in India, and from where IFRS course can be done? Actually, the IND AS, which have been declared by government now, is almost a copy of IFRS with few deviation. So in our course, we both teach IFRS as well as IND AS. Now, need and implementation in India arises sort of IND AS or even otherwise, because MNCs need IFRS to send it for consolidation. Then KPOs like JP Morgan, WNS, Birla Minax, JLT Insurance, Colgate BPO, ISAR BPO, Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, Genpact, BNY Mellon, I will be short of names. Alright, they are doing implementation of IFRS in India of many companies in the world. For example, you might be knowing Colgate giving toothpaste, but do you know that in Andheri, Mumbai, there are 2,000 people employed who are doing Colgate world level accounts. India is a IT source for world. Now India is becoming the accountant of the world. My rough calculation says that currently India is doing the accounting for 20 to 30% of the companies in world. And like currently India is doing 80% of IT jobs of world, similar way India will be doing 80% of the accounting work of the world. So India becoming accountant of the world, courtesy IFRS. So therefore, why we need IFRS knowledge? Because it is a huge employment potential. The KPO industry is booming over it, and then India, thanks to the weaker currency, is earning a lot of foreign exchange on that. And now that IND AS is implemented, also there are companies who need foreign currency borrowings or the companies who want to register on foreign stock exchange. Therefore, they are also required to adopt IFRS. And where the IFRS course can be done? I have already told you that it can be done from Consult IFRS and meraskills.com. Raunak from Nagpur. Yeah, Raunak, what's your question? Raunak, we were trying to have classes in Nagpur, but currently that is not happening. So I suggest you go for online course of ours on IFRS, and that will require you 60 hours of going through the online video recording and 100 hours of self-studies, maximum 150 hours. And since you are a CA student, you have two big advantages of doing IFRS in June itself. One, that you have finished group 1 where you already studied FR subject financial reporting, where AS has been done well. So lot of things, the common studies are there between AS and IFRS. So you are already good at that. So the amount of study you will be required to do will be much lesser. Second advantage is that you are a CA student. So you have the habit of studying anything between 10 to 15 hours per day. And I am saying you need 150 hours study. So divided by 15 hours, you can finish it in 10 days. Even if I give you grace days of 5, you need 15 days. And your second group exam, to my understanding, it is getting over on 18th of May or 19th of May. And 18th May to 9th June, you easily get 15 days or little more than that. Oh, I am thinking that it is almost 12 plus 9, 21 days you are getting. And if you treat it also like a CA exam and study for 10 to 15 hours per day, you will easily pass. I have minimum 6 examples of people who passed CA along with IFRS in the same period. I'll give you the names. Nivedita Roy, who has joined Tata Motor, Priya Jain, who is working with us, Manali is working with us, then there is Nishit, who is also working with us, then there is, I'll tell you his name, Mehta. Mehta has joined now Ernst & Young, he finished both together. Recently, Veena Venkat passed, she has done AS and IFRS and CA final together. Then Vishalakshi from Navi Mumbai has done it together. And one more guy, I need to remember his name, Sandesh Sharma. He has also finished his IFRS and CA together. So don't be worried. You are a determined guy. A chartered accountant is the best quality talents of India. Doing online course, studying 60 plus 150 hours is easily possible. Immediately enroll, fill up the exam form before 15th March, maximum 25th March. Enroll for online immediately. Take your study material, take your internet username, password, test it out. Before the CA exam, you may study for maybe, I would say, 20-30 hours. That's enough. As soon as CA exam is over, finish the rest of the studies, rest of the video conferencing, and call me for any difficulty anytime. I mean, a CA definitely has a capacity. When you can give 8 subjects of CA at a time, what is so difficult to give CA second group, which is 4 subjects and IFRS as 1 subject. So 5 subjects giving as against 8 subjects is surely possible for CA. So please do it together. The biggest advantage of that you will be in the job market or practice market together with CA plus IFRS. So your job demand, your prospects of salaries will be at least 30-40% higher. So let's discuss the MCA declaration which has come in, and let us discuss what do we achieve by IFRS. So the MCA declaration, when it came, what has been achieved? What has been achieved is now the world will start accepting IND AS balance sheet provided your norms, I mean the carve-outs don't affect it. So in a way, the companies who want to play with global capital will have to prepare not only IFRS but also IND AS. But the second biggest advantage will come that we will be able to have funding. The global capital market will become open for us. Over and above that, the investors will get transparency. Investors will get transparency of the accounts. So the share market should start booming because of the retail movement. A corporate governance is to be hopefully getting set in, and this is also expected to have an impact which will be a far-reaching impact on the economy. Today we see transparency as a mode, but all of us know how RTI Act has brought in great impact. Similar way, IFRS through transparency is going to give a great impact because everything will be white. Alright. Coupled with that, the Indian government is also doing what is known as black money capturing. One of the important concept called controlled entity, which is a new concept instead of subsidiary, will lead to a group consolidation. And the consolidation, I think that's the important point I must cover here. The consolidation is now compulsory both for listed as well as unlisted. Now that's very important. In past, the consolidation was only for listed because of the SEBI listing agreement. Now you should see listed and unlisted. And not only that, private and public, provided they have the net worth which is higher than 500 crores. Right. Yeah. Now, the important part again here is that people are going to be aware about this transparency, and therefore the balance sheet cannot allow any window dressing. The disclaimers will be over. The qualifications in accounts will be over, and therefore there are many things like Kingfisher creating a huge NPA for State Bank will not create a problem. Right. So this is in short the IFRS and IND AS career paths. What is getting started? I will call it not just accounting revolution but a transparency revolution. And before concluding, let me give you my name, Ram Mohan Bhave, email ID mohanbhave@gmail.com, WhatsApp number 9167446744, and if you want to meet me on Facebook or LinkedIn, you are welcome. I am with again Ram Mohan Bhave as a name. So welcome to you. I already have 15,000 friends on Facebook with 3 profiles, and also around 15,000 friends or connections on LinkedIn. So I look forward to see you for continuous. We also created the WhatsApp group, and we plan to create a WhatsApp group of the people who have attended this webinar and give them regular updates of IFRS. So you or your friends who are interested, tell them to join our WhatsApp group which is getting created arising out of this webinar, and you will be getting the regular updates on IFRS, whatever changes are happening. I mean, nowadays email has become a snail mail, so I look forward to see you more on WhatsApp, and maybe we can have a knowledge of group sharing all over India. And some of the participants for this are from overseas. I thank them for taking out their time and joining this seminar. And good wishes to all of you. See you for doing IFRS as an excellent career. And thank you on behalf of Ram Mohan Bhave, my colleague Bridge, consultifrs.com and meraskills.com. We will be continuously holding such webinars almost every month. So do log in, be in touch, and always Do keep on asking query, as many as you want. Another 2 minutes we are waiting. If anybody has to ask any last queries, welcome. And after that, this webinar stands closed, concluded. So please tell me, anybody is asking queries for next 2 minutes? Right. Thank you. Goodbye. Good night. See you again.